Pastor Cooper is going to say the invocation. Pastor, would you like us to stand, sit?
I would like for you to stand today.
Okay, thank you.
Since this is a new season.
You can take that out.
Okay. Please bow your heads with me. Father, we just want to thank you first for your presence. We thank you for this day that you have made for us to rejoice and be exceedingly glad in. And Lord, we ask that you give wisdom to our supervisor and his staff, to the council persons, oh God. We ask that you would give them knowledge, give them, oh God, the blessings of grace that they may seek judgment and do that which is right and pleasing in your sight. Lord, give them favor with the citizenry, that they may continue the work that you have purposed in your heart for them to do. And let everything that is brought before this board, O God, be for the glory of the citizens, that they may rest in peace. And we thank you for this beautiful day which you have made. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. That's Pastor Cooper. Thank you very much. Pastor Cooper's from the House of Praise Christian Revival Center right here in downtown Riverhead. We thank you very much and have a blessed Holy Weekend. Okay, before we do the minutes, Professor DeLuca, would you like to just let us know what's going on here today? Go ahead, step up. We've got a lot of your students here. It's your moment in the sun, although you come here often, so.
Looks like he's got some sun.
Well, I'm here tonight with my students to give them a sample how government works. And basically, I tried to, most of these students here are architectural or engineering students, and I tried to impress upon them how government is an integral part, how government plays an integral part of their livelihood. Basically, I try to impress upon them how government regulations really dictate how their future in the construction industry will be done. And I pretty well, before this meeting started, I told them, or I showed them how the secret process works, how the town board passes zoning regulations, how they're enforced, and I try to impress upon them to get more involved with government, because realistically, for students of this, of the age that these people are, Long Island today is becoming a very, or more difficult for development to take place. And restrictions are getting more and more, or regulations are getting more and more restrictive. And that's why I want them to get involved, because it's their future that really is going to dictate their livelihood, and it all starts with town boards and government. And most of them, I think, would testify to this, that before they come into my class, they don't realize how much government is involved with the building and construction industry. Because really zoning is in your hands, and zoning sets what building can be done. And that's why I have them here tonight, so they can actually see how government and the public is involved with their future.
And you teach us at SUNY Farmingdale.
SUNY Farmingdale.
Do the students take the class in Farmingdale?
Yes.
And you drag them to your hometown?
Absolutely.
Way to be.
Well, I think
Welcome to the East End, guys.
I think
We do things differently here. We wear cowboy boots. Well, I don't ride horses. Some of us deliver cows. We may not be your average Nassau County town.
well, that's why I like to bring them out here, because it's a little bit more personal than it is in some of the larger western towns, and I think it's a good education for them, and hopefully we'll have a good, lively meeting here tonight where there's a lot of debate. And I know I was sitting in the audience.
I hope not, actually.
And I got into a debate
It's
with
hot.
somebody in the audience. So thank you for your courtesy, and
Thank you, Professor DeLuca, and welcome. And if your students have any want to ask us questions or anything, there are 2 opportunities to speak. Not that we'll probably bore you to tears, but before we do the town board resolutions, we allow you to comment on specific resolutions. If you're of a hearty stock and you stay till the end, we'll let you comment on anything you want. We just ask you to limit to 5 minutes. All right, John, minutes.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the April 5th meeting, 2011. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
Okay, Diane, correspondence.
Sure. Under correspondence, there were 61 letters requesting a short-term moratorium to be enacted for pending Wading River development proposals. That was an additional 61 letters. Last town board meeting, I think we had about 15, and we might have had some that were the meeting before that. Then there was a letter from Riverhead Neighborhood Preservation Coalition. They had sent a memorandum of law regarding the impacts of proposed developments in Wading River. A letter from Robert Havasey of Stoneleigh Woods Developers, letter in favor of creating a zone for assisted living facilities. Letter from Gene McSherry, he's past commander of VFW in Riverhead. He sent a letter seeking approval for installation of a light to illuminate the World War II monument on the corner of Pulaski Street and Osborne Avenue. Charles Cuddy sent a letter of concern regarding proposed amendment to Residence RC District, that's a retirement community. Marcia Kipperman and Donna Tuber sent a letter objecting to the proposed senior community project on Mill Road. Under applications, we had many. Under special events permits, that's our Chapter 90s, Starfish Junction Productions would like to have a North Fork Craft Beer, Barbecue, and Wine Festival August 13th at Martha Clara Vineyards. Emma Salderna submitted an application for a rodeo May 29th at Gold Rush Farms in Bating Hollow. Jamesport Firemen's Association submitted their application for their annual Firemen's Carnival, July 19th, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 in Jamesport. Vale Levitt submitted 2 applications, one for a live musical event, July 16th, another for a Music of New Orleans, and that's August 6th. Riverhead Bid Management Association submitted 8 applications, and I believe 7 of these are for the Peconic Riverfront. June 14th, antique dealers and sale and appraisal and a musical performance. June 26th, cardboard boat races. July 3rd, band with children's show, fireworks, and rock and roll review. July 16th, rock and roll oldie show. July 30th, music idol. August 30th, country western concert. May 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, and then into June, the June 2nd, June 9th, June 16th, and June 23rd, the Classic Car Cruise Nights. Also, August 6th, this is under bid management, a Mardi Gras festival through the downtown Riverhead area.
All right, let's hold 1 second there.
Okay.
So you say you're architectural and engineer students. I'll bet you my boat built by Gabrielson Boat Works will beat any one of your cardboard boats that you bring to our town on June 26th. And if that's not, how do you call that? I called them out? I don't know, what do I say?
Challenged.
Challenge.
Challenging you guys.
I'm challenging you guys to come back with your cardboard boats and try to beat me. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Continue?
I
Okay.
digress.
Under special permits, we had an application from James DeLuca, the addition of a 6,900 square foot office area at 189 Main Road, Accabock. And then under reports, from the tax receiver, total tax collection dated April 11th was $65,645,434.52. Total tax collection dated April 19th, $66,061,209.11. The police department submitted their monthly report for March, and the building department submitted their monthly report for March, and that was $91,175.50, and that's it.
All right, thank you, Diane. Are there any committee reports?
Just a reminder that April 30th is our Riverhead Town Cleanup with the Riverhead Anti-Litter Committee, where everybody would meet here at 8:30 and get some light refreshments and then some garbage bags and pick a destination to go with your family and help clean some of the litter up around the area. So it's going to be a good day. It's always a fun day. So make sure.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, go Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to announce once again is the June 26th at 12 o'clock noon, rain or shine, is the Great Riverhead Cardboard Boat Race. And for the students back there, if you want some information on how to create that boat and rules and regulations, you can go on, you can visit www.riverheadbid.org. You can get all the information about that race.
He builds my boat. Actually, Gabrielson Boat Works does. We have some, I'm going to say, some Eagle Scouts here? Eagle candidates here. Well, I thank you for coming. Would you like to step up and just announce why you're here, or?
Which one of you is it?
Go ahead. You got to man up if you're going to be an Eagle Scout. Going to be Eagle Scouts. Why are you here, sir?
We are here for our communications merit badge, which is one of the 15 merit badges required for Eagle Scout.
Well spoken.
Thank you.
What's your name, son?
Brendan Martin,
Where are you from?
Yaphank, New York.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming. Well, welcome. Okay, we have 3 public hearings to do tonight. And the first one is a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 108 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Zoning, Accessory Apartments. And this is to allow for accessory apartments within the Hamlet Residential Center, Riverfront Corridor, Commercial Residential Campus, and Rural Corridor and Hamlet Center zoning districts. Bob, do I? Okay, would anybody like to be heard on this? Yes, go ahead, miss, if you'd step up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Deborah Fairbrother. I'm an attorney.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay,
could you
we don't
spell-
have to swear you in then.
Could you spell your name for me?
Deborah, Deborah. Fairbrother, F like in Frank, AIR, brother, just the way it sounds.
Okay, thank you.
I have a card for you if you'd like. I'm here on behalf of my clients, Mr. and Mrs. McCauley. They're here in the 3rd row. They are the owners of 183 Edwards Avenue in Calverton. We're here in support of the expansion of the zoning, allowing for the accessory apartments in the other zones. What we're specifically here for this evening is to ask for the board to also consider expanding that accessory permit to the industrial C zone as well. I do understand that in your eyes, probably industrial C does not even allow for dwellings per se. However, their particular house was built before the code. They actually have a letter of pre-existing use which allows it to be maintained and used as a dwelling. At this point in time, they do have an accessory apartment in the house. It has been there for some time, although it hasn't been there since pre-code. So the apartment itself does not fall within the purview of the pre-existing use. The non-conforming the dwelling does, but the accessory apartment does not. They're in a position where their house, along with 2 other houses next to it, are surrounded by properties. One of them is the golf course, which is adjacent to their house in the backyard. Across the street is a sod farm, and also I believe it's LIPA has the towers over there. So we have 3 residential properties that are being used as residential properties. Theirs, I don't know about the others, but theirs does have an accessory apartment in it. They do meet all the requirements under the regulations to have it legalized. It is owner occupied. The square footage is in conformity with the zoning laws. But the problem again is it's industrial C1. At this point in time, also due to financial hardship for themselves, they are requesting that the zoning board allow them to use it as the apartment.
I was going to say, have you been to the zoning board of appeals with this?
We're waiting for something to come from, a direction from this board to see if you actually would expand the allowance and include those houses. Even if you didn't include all of the IC1 areas, if the districts, if you just included those that are within the pre-existing non-conforming use, it would help them. It would help them and probably others in their position as well, because the houses were built before the enactment of those zoning districts, and they were intended to be used as residential. And they would like to benefit from the same financial and economic benefits that other people who need the income benefit from. And unfortunately, now they bought the house in 2005. They paid $380,000 for it. In today's market, they would not be able to recover that. They would be underwater. And they are in a position, as others are, where they do need that additional income. So we're here in support of the expansion, and we're asking that you include that other district IC1 in it when you're really looking at it.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm just curious, they bought the property in 2005, and at the time
2005.
they purchased the house, the property was zoned industrial C, right?
Yes, however, it was built prior to the enactment of the zoning. It was built prior to 1965. I have a letter of pre-existing use if you'd like to see it. So when that dwelling was built, it was allowed to be there, and then the zoning came in afterwards, which prohibited the use as a dwelling.
This is just curiosity, because there's a gentleman that used to come to the town all the time, and I couldn't, the last month I've been trying to remember his name.
Bill Kasparovich.
No, who did they buy their
Steve
house
Hazlett.
from?
Steve Hazlett.
Mr. Hazlett, that's
Hazlett.
it. Mr. Hazlett. Maybe, I don't know.
No,
That's the
no.
name. That's the
No, they
name I
did
was
not.
looking for.
That question actually came up at the ZBA meeting.
That's
I
true.
will tell you, I have a copy of the deed.
No, that's okay.
But they actually, he sold it to, I'll tell you exactly who. They bought it from Thomas Corrigan, who apparently bought it from the gentleman
Mr.
that you're
Hazlett,
speaking
okay.
of.
I'm familiar with the house. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on this particular town board public hearing? Not seeing anybody. Diane, I think April 29th is a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. We'll keep this public hearing open until April 29th. We'll close the public comment portion and leave it open for written comments until April 29th at 4:30 in the Riverhead Town Clerk's office. Okay. 7:05. We had two on for 7:05. John, you want to announce this one?
Okay. This is a public hearing for the consideration of amending Town Code 99 of the River Town Code entitled Taxi Cabs and Vehicles for Hire of the Town of Riverhead. The Town of River does not have a taxi code, a taxi cab code, or for any vehicles of hire. Every other town does, and we'd like to enact one to regulate the fares, the cleanliness, the repairs of our taxi cabs. So this meeting is going to be opened by the supervisor for that consideration.
It's open. Would anybody like to be heard on this matter? Okay, yes, sir. If you'd step up and just state. Sir, if you'd just raise your right hand and state your name and.
Robert Rossetti.
And Bob, you want to swear him in?
Yes, Mr. Rossetti, do you swear that the testimony you are about to give to this board would be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Well, I frankly didn't know I was being put under oath, but I'll do that.
Thank you. So that's yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Rossetti. Spell that again, the reporters didn't get that.
R-O-S-S-E-T-T-I.
What can we do for you today, sir?
I drive a taxi cab in the area, and I've been driving a cab here for a good number of years, but I've been with this fellow for almost 3 years. And he does take care of the cars. We bring them in and get them fixed. Brakes, oil changes, that sort of stuff. If it needs transmission, for some reason or other gets a transmission. And we get them washed twice a week.
That's good.
Oh, yes, we do.
We thank you for that.
But, I'd like to address some of the situations I see up on Route 58 with all the people running red lights and all that, and the U-turns in the middle of the road and things like that. Since it's been widened, it seems to be most prevalent up there.
Is it taxi cabs that are?
No, they are not.
Okay, well,
No, they are not.
Yep,
we,
after the meeting.
yeah, if you want to talk about taxi cabs, this public hearing is
I
purely for
understand,
the
but
taxi
I'm
cab.
trying to distance ourselves from the rest of the driving public.
Yeah, I don't think that that's what we were aiming to. I mean, the police will ticket and arrest people if they're really
I see
driving
it quite
recklessly.
frequently. I see it quite
Recklessly.
frequently. Would you have any questions for me? I'd like to know that. I don't understand what you're going to do with our fares. We
Nothing.
Nothing.
Quite.
We're not touching fares. We're looking for cleanliness, the fact, drug
Well,
testing.
I'm primary driver of the car. I take the car home at night, and I clean it out.
There's probably a copy in the back table of the ordinance. You
I'd like
probably meet everything. If you work for a, I don't want to say, it's not appropriate to say respectable, it's the word, not the right word, but if you're working for a good cab company, you're going to not have a problem meeting this. There is a fee. You'll have to apply for a license, but it is not going to
Any
be
idea how much
onerous.
it would be?
We have the fee. Joe, do you have it right in front of you? Do
The
you?
fee schedule is in the ordinance.
All right. How long has this been in effect, this ordinance?
We haven't put it into effect yet.
Brand new.
I see. So it's just
New
off
for
the press.
2011.
I see. All right.
And it's not unlike any other towns, actually.
And it's like, I
Imagine
think
it
you
would be
have,
very
after it's
similar.
put into effect, you have 6 months to comply.
6 months
I
or
see.
60 days.
But you can
All right.
study that, and you've got like
Well,
10
I'll
days to
peruse it.
respond to
Oh,
us
absolutely.
if you see anything you don't,
60
you know,
days, right, Bob?
All
agree
right,
with,
I'll
find objectable.
absolutely.
Okay.
Or 6
All right,
months.
thank you.
Okay, I'm thumbing through here. Did we find the fee for this?
99.23, that's set by resolution.
The fees are set by resolution. We won't make them terrible, trust me, sir. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this matter? Okay, not seeing anybody, we're going to close the public hearing out for public comment and leave it open for written comment until April 29th at 4:30 at the town clerk's office. And thank you, Councilman Dunleavy. I know this is something you've been working on for a long time, and I think we're going to get it adopted. All right, the next town board public hearing is set for 7:10. It's the consideration of a proposed local law to amend Chapter 101 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 5, Parking, Standing and Stopping, Parking Prohibited on Remsen Road. Go ahead.
All right, this is a regulation by St. John's Church in Wading River. The problem they're having is after Mass, people leaving their parking lots and trying to turn on Wading River Manor Road. The cars that are parked on the on Remsen Road on the south side of that road is blocking people making a left turn or right turn at it. So what we regulation is we're gonna have no parking from Wading River Manor Road
North side.
on
The north
the
side.
north side.
Right.
On the north side, up about 50 foot.
250 feet.
250 foot, so cars can come out of church on religious services and be safe when they make turns.
Okay, good. Does anybody wish to be heard on this? Not seeing anybody. We will close the public comment portion and leave it open to written comment until April 29th at 4:30 p.m. in the Riverhead Town Clerk's office. Okay, we are going to take comments on resolutions. Does anybody wish to be heard? Yeah.
Resolution number 311, if anybody has that, country inns will not be discussed tonight. So if anybody has any comments on that, we're not going to discuss that tonight. So bring your comments back when we're going to discuss that. So if anybody wants to make a comment, they can, but we're not going to discuss it tonight.
Okay, does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions? Yes, you.
Yes, hi, my name is Claire Bennett. I wanted
while
to
you
ask a
walked
couple of
outside.
questions regarding, I guess it's Resolution 281 regarding changing the weight limits. I live over in that little area. One road that is not mentioned, granted, you can't get to it unless you take some of these other connector roads, which is Old River Road, that runs and joins up between all that. But at the same time, I don't know if anybody's ever been down that road lately, and having had that washout that we had last year on River Road, Old River Road is, and there's a number of places where the,
I don't think
really-
does anybody use Over River Road anymore?
No, there's residents.
You can barely get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
The people
shortcut.
live there.
Yeah, this-
Well, just the people live there, but there's no
Well, I do.
transportation,
No heavy trucks.
no
No.
heavy trucks on that road.
Yeah.
That's
you
that's
could-
why it was left out, because it's
Yeah.
not a main road.
But it's a connector
to
road in
transport.
between everybody. I just wanted to make sure, because any
Yeah.
big trucks, and we're definitely gonna have another washout
Yeah.
like we did
No,
have
the-
at
yeah.
River
Yeah.
Road.
Well,
And I know this isn't the time to address this,
Well,
but
I don't think the big trucks can get to that road with this.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
are we gonna ever do anything about fixing that road?
You
Well,
would
if
have
you
to-
do, you're gonna have the big trucks. So, just leave it the way it is.
You would have to speak to the highway superintendent, George Woodson. He has a list of roads that he works on every year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else wish to be heard on any of the other resolutions? Dominique?
I did want to touch base briefly because it was in that packet to be discussed on the Country Inn resolution. I wanted to remind you, this was heard over a year ago. There was a public hearing. So one, I did have the minutes of that public hearing to remind you guys what was said during that. 6 residents thought it important enough to get up and speak on that, on the importance of not changing that code.
Well, we're not doing anything with it today, so.
Tonight, but this will help because
If
it
you
was
can hand
over.
them written comment?
It was over a year ago.
I-
So it's your minutes. The other thing, I wanted to remind people, Jody, I wanted to remind you that we communicated on this, Jody.
Yep.
And I know that you were very clear that you were going to vote no to expansion of country inns to become multiple buildings.
As far as catering was concerned and things of that nature, which were the concerns of the community. And
No, to become multiple structures. I'm looking at the letter right here. I can
Okay.
give you a copy if
right, but wasn't it the concern of the community that the multiple structures would be used for catering type venues?
that wasn't the only concern, no.
Okay. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the minutes, which is
Yeah.
why I asked Councilman Dunleavy to not bring it up this evening so that we could revisit it and we could discuss it again, because we do have a country inn within the town, or a property that's zoned country inn, that is having a very difficult time staying in business. And we don't want to see that structure become abandoned and dilapidated just like it was before they actually did the renovations. So we wanted to meet again with the community and discuss these types of types of uses that may be acceptable, such as a bride's quarters if they were. I know that the community was working with them and that the zoning board approved 10 tent permitted events.
The zoning board did approve it. Many of us would say that that should have been challenged in court, but as we know, it's hard for residents to sometimes raise the money to challenge bad decisions in court.
Okay, but I thought that that was a result of a meeting that took place with members of the community and the owners. And it was something that was discussed and something that was
I don't think there was
could be
any consensus.
tolerated.
I don't think there's any consensus reached on that. There was an attempt to reach consensus, but I don't think there was any consensus. And Bill Welsh could better talk to that than I could.
Okay.
Um,
we're gonna revisit the minutes of those meetings, but
So I'll give you the minutes and
Yeah.
a reminder of what you said, and it was very clear.
yeah.
And so a reminder of that, and I think that's it for now, for me.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic.
Mr. Welch? Welcome back.
Good evening. Yes.
You look so much more relaxed.
Oh, it's great out there. Everybody has to try it. I'm just in commenting on the Country Inn proposal. When the community did meet with the owners across the street, what essentially was decided was that if the ZBA made the allowance for the catered events, which they ultimately did, there were a number of suggestions that some of people in the community put forth. Now, I didn't sign on to that. There were other people who didn't sign on to it. But essentially, they were saying that if the ZBA went forward with this, then these are things that should be considered as limitations. it wasn't a blank check to just go with catering. And, you know, a lot of things that were said at the hearing a year ago, Jody, all of you heard it. They're still valid today. I mean, we're just concerned about a campus structure getting out of control and how many buildings and what's going to be put in each of the buildings. Because when Country Inns was set up, the town made a positive effort to constrain their growth and limit them to particular things.
Right.
This was the fallout from the east wind situation, and that was what the town was really looking at the time. So I would just ask that you bear that in mind as you go forward. And you know, if you want me to participate in anything coming up.
Absolutely. And
by all means.
having understood that this structure, this barn, they did obtain a building permit for this barn, and they want to be able to use it. So.
Well, my understanding is that the CO was for storage. And
Okay.
I think they've been using temporary COs to have minor exhibits, art exhibits there.
Right. So, but we'll be discussing it again, and
Well,
we'll
we're
see
gonna
if we
discuss-
can get everybody together and come to a general consensus, because living across the street, I'm sure that you don't want to see that building abandoned.
Absolutely.
Right. No, we're going to discuss it, but I think with multiple buildings, our floor area in our zoning will cover multiple buildings, that they can only have floor area that will cover the amount of land that they have. So to put 3 or 4 buildings up on a piece of property may not hit the floor area ratio that is needed to be approved. So that's what we're going to look into.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that what the proposal was to the board was to use that accessory building, that barn, as a type of facility for a bed and breakfast or for a bride and groom to be able to stay there. So it may not be the right way, the way it is right now, where it's set up where you can allow multiple structures within a country inn, but there may be some things that we can consider, and we can work together with the community and the town board to come up with something that would be acceptable to the surrounding neighbors and still be business friendly to allow these people to keep up the property as they have.
Right. I mean, our just concern was that the change seemed to just be to buildings without
I understand.
really examining what that
Yep.
means.
And
Yeah.
Councilman
Implications.
Dunleavy and I discussed that earlier today, which, you know, it needs to say how many buildings, and then he discussed the floor area ratio, and,
yeah.
you know, this building is an existing building, so maybe it would be something that might be done under special permit where the uses are actually looked at more closely by the town board to make sure that it's not a disturbance to the surrounding neighbors, but it still supports the business.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
keep me informed, and I'll be glad to help.
Thank you. Mr. Barbado. How you doing, sir?
Thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak. Just a few more items, food for thought. First, I think that if we're really just talking about one property, that changing a whole zoning category to do what we can to assist one property owner is not only dangerous, it's just bad public policy. And I think you should think about that.
That's a very valid point, sir.
Right. I think there's only 2 properties within the town that are actually zoned country inn, but go ahead.
Well, so far we've only been talking about one. And this particular country inn has been given a number of concessions already. And I'm just wondering, where does that trail end? There comes a time when we have to start thinking about the neighborhood. As you know, the country inn is allowed only by special permit within the rural corridor. And the rural corridor is intended to be limited to a small shop and services which are compatible with the agricultural and rural setting that it's in. If you put too many buildings in one piece of property, you're going to lose that. The country inn was also envisioned as a 2-story building with 20 rooms to rent for short-term rentals. And all the accessory uses were intended to be housed within the principal building. Furthermore, the accessory uses were specifically limited to recreational, conference room, and library. So my question is, if you were to go ahead and allow more buildings on the same site in this category of country inn, what protections would you build into it that would also protect the agricultural and rural setting? What would be the total number of rooms? Are you also talking about making the inn larger by having more buildings? I think that would be against the intent of this piece of law. And therefore, if you increase the number of rooms, the multiplier for the number of seats in the restaurant, is that also affected? So this is a domino effect that I hope you have thought about it, or at least you will.
This is why we're not taking it up tonight.
Okay. And first, the list of accessory uses, we would hope that you don't change that, because that limitation is important. That's what keeps the property to be used as a low-key, temporary inn type of a building, not places for large parties that make a lot of noise.
Right.
And then the last point was the site plan review. Is the town board intending to retain site plan review for this type of use? Is it something that's going to be given to the
That would be a
planning board?
planning board issue.
So what kind of
Unless-
limitation, are you going to pass on anything to require public hearings, public input, to have the site
Yes,
plan?
but that's a
pub-
separate issue.
Well,
We're working
this
on
is,
that.
this law you're tinkering with now, so
Oh,
I'm just
no,
wondering.
no, but I mean, this is not a public hearing for this particular change in code. But we are drafting an ordinance as we speak for public hearings for site plans, and that hopefully we can roll that out in May.
Wonderful. Okay.
All right, thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for your time.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on the resolutions? Yes?
Sherry Johnson, Horton Court, Manorville. I just wanted to speak for a minute about Resolution 281, which is the weight limits on the roads out south of EPCAL. We strongly, my husband and I are both here tonight, and we strongly support the resolution, and I thank you for putting it on. Since you did the weight limits on Schultz
you.
Road last year, well, since the weight limits were put on Schultz Road last year, the truckers are starting to find the other roads. And it's really not appropriate for them to be on those roads in that area. It's a residential area, the roads are narrow. So I hope you'll all support it, and thank you very much.
Say hi to my aunt.
I will.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on the resolutions? Not seeing anybody. Can I get a motion, Diane? I think we're going to close the...
I make a motion that we close the town board meeting and open the CDA meeting for resolutions. So move.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes. Okay, do we have one resolution?
We should have two. I think one's coming off the floor.
Okay.
I think
I make a motion that we take two resolutions, CDA resolution number
It's going to be 9.
8 and 9.
It's
8, 9.
8 and 9 are both coming off the
No,
floor?
eight is
Eight's
on
in
the
nine.
agenda.
Oh,
Nine,
8,
nine,
so
nine's
take-
coming off the
I
floor.
take resolution number 9 off the floor, to follow resolution number 8, at this meeting. So move.
Get a second?
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
CDA resolution number 9 is taken off the floor.
Dominique. Okay, well, let's vote on resolution 8 and 9 then, Diane.
Okay.
Okay. CDA resolution number 8.
Authorizes the execution of an agreement with the County of Suffolk. So move.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. CDA resolution number 9.
John, you want to move that one as well?
Just the grant agreement?
Yeah, authorizes the super-
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a grant agreement with New York State. Is that the one? Is that
Yeah.
the one? Yeah. Parks and Recreation. and-
Wait a minute.
No, no,
I'm
that's
sorry,
not-
no, you're wrong, you're right.
Which one is this?
It's done, you're right.
Oh, this is
Sorry.
9, okay. Authorize amendment to professional service agreement with Dunn Engineering Associates, PC, to proceed with Calverton Rail Construction Administration for change order number 6. So move.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, hold on, because authorizes the supervisor to execute a grant agreement for New York State Office of Parks and Recreation for historic preservation funds to support the Calverton recreational facilities is that a CDA resolution? I know this is,
For the ball fields at Drummond, so I think that's why, Sean.
okay, but was there a CDA that follows that, or is we just doing a town? Okay, that's fine.
I make a motion, we close the CDA meeting and reopen the town board meeting. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
You want me to start then?
Yes.
Okay.
That's not true.
All right, resolution 263.
263 calls for Clean Vessel Act Assistance Grant, Bay Constable Boat Motor Budget Adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 264.
Okay, that's FEMA. It's for the Holst Landing Beach Access Budget Adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, this is, we get a FEMA grant for this, beach access to repair it from the storms, so I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 265.
Insurance Recovery Police Department budget adjustment. So moved.
John.
Oh, second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 266.
Authorizes the reappointment of members of the Anti-Litter Advisory Committee. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 267.
Order authorizing increase and improvement to the facility of the Riverhead Water District well number 16-1. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 268.
Order establishing lateral water main Riverhead Water District G&Z Retirement Community Subdivision. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 269.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post the attached notice to bidders for the Meeting House Creek Bulkhead Renovation Project. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 270.
Authorize the settlement of claims of Antonio Miltello with respect to the condemnation of fee interest in 48-52 Peconic Avenue, Suffolk County Tax Map 0600-128-06.00-085.33. So moved.
Wait, 5.003.
.003. I'll second.
003, yeah.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 271.
Declares lead agency, classifies and determines significance of action, Manor Lane Sand Mining Facility. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 272.
Reappoint seasonal groundskeepers. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 273.
Reappoints a seasonal groundskeeper. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 274.
Can I bring 274 and 275 to the same?
Several
Yes.
people.
Okay, I'd like to move 274 and 275. Reappoints a seasonal.
How about 276 too?
6-2?
They're all different.
Right.
They're all different pay scales.
And,
just so you
and,
know.
and,
Well, they are all different pay scales,
They're
so you
different.
can't do them together.
you can't put them
We
together.
can put them together, we're all agreed on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all agreed on it.
All right, 275, 276. It's reappoints a seasonal pump-out boat operator, 3 of them at 3 different pay scales. So moved.
Moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, yes, yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolutions 274, 275, and 276 are adopted. Resolution 277.
Promotes maintenance mechanics in the water district. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
This is a requirement so that these people can be out there operating by themselves without a supervisor with them, which will save the town money because they'll be able to go out and independently work. So I will vote yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, absolutely.
Dunleavy.
I concur, yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 278.
Ratifies the reappointment of member of the Riverhead Open Space Park Preserve Committee, excuse me. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
I lost my place. Hold
Same people.
on. Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 279.
279 appoints a member to the Open Space Park Preserve Committee. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 280.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post public notice of public hearing to consider a proposed local law for an amendment to Chapter 101, Vehicles and Traffic of the Riverhead Town Code 101-7. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, this concerns Cromer and 58, the left turn. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 281.
Adopts the local law amending Chapter 101 entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Riverhead Town Code, weight limit of 8 tons. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 282.
852 Roanoke Avenue, Riverhead, New York, Chapter 96, budget adoption. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Seems less than we normally do. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 283.
283 accepts the resignation of Secretary to the Accessory Apartment Review Board. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, I'd like to thank Billy Jo Yeager for all her work that she did when we first started with that. So, yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 284.
Appoint secretary to the Accessory Apartment Review Board. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 285.
Adopts the local law amending Chapter 45 entitled Alarm Systems of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 286.
Adopts a local law amending Chapter 52 entitled Building Construction of the Riverhead Town Code, Article 2, Green Building Standards for Town-Owned Buildings. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 287, but this is different than what was on the agenda.
Okay, this is, we're adopting, do you have the amended one?
I have the amended one.
And that's,
You should have, do you have?
I have been authorized to publish and post.
No,
We're
that's
not
the
doing
old
that.
one. The new one should be.
All right.
Men's zoning map, yeah.
I don't know if I have the new one. Let me have the new one so I could read it.
You don't have that?
I may, but
Yeah, you've got
I
it.
think I do.
you only handed me like 9,000
I know.
things.
Yeah, here's a new one. I got a
2
new
minutes.
extra new
Yes,
one.
sir.
Oh, I do have an extra. Oh, wait a minute, I have a couple.
All right, 287 amends zoning map, Town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
All right, I'm getting there.
We can put it, send it up to the Secretary of State at the same time.
Giglio.
Now we are.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 288.
Authorize town clerk to advertise for bids, Riverhead Sewer District, Riverhead Scavenger Waste District, removal of dry cake, sludge, and grit screen waste.
Now that's a mouthful,
Yuck.
dry cake sludge.
So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Absolutely, yes.
You guys know what that is? Shaking their
See
head.
some head nodding there.
I don't want to discuss it, especially the grid screen. Yes.
Okay, Wooten, yes. Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 289.
Appoints council members to the Brookhaven National Lab Community Advisory Council. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
I am very proud to have Izzy Darosky sitting on this board. He is a great citizen in the community, and he really cares. So he'll be a great advocate for the town of Riverhead. So, Izzy, thank you, and yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
And now, let's not forget Susan Holm was going to be the alternate. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Absolutely.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 290.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a professional service agreement for grant writing services for FEMA grants. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
I'm going to vote yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 291.
291 authorizes the supervisor to execute stipulation of settlement agreement with the Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated Local 1000, ASME AFL-CIO Riverhead Unit, Suffolk Local 852. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 292.
Authorize the supervisor to execute stipulation of settlement agreement with Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, Riverhead, Unit of the Suffolk, Local 852. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 293.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an amended agreement authorizing the town to accept funds from Suffolk County Office for the Aging to supplement the town's expanded in-home services for the elderly program. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 294.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a professional service agreement with Cash and Associates PC for the revision of current bid specifications for sanitation department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 295.
Approves the Chapter 90 application of the Church of the Harvest for the Riverhead Community Appreciation Day, July 23rd, it's a Saturday, 1 to 6, East End Arts Council. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 296.
Approves Chapter 90 application of East End's Arts and Humanities Council Incorporated, and it's the 15th Annual Community Mosaic Street Painting Festival. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 297.
Approves Chapter 90 application of Timothy Hill Children's Ranch, dinner dance, May 14th, 2011. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 298.
Ratifies the authorization for the supervisor to endorse a check in the amount of $7,816.68 made payable to the Town of Riverhead Community Development Department and Peter and Jacqueline Jacqueline. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 299.
Ratify submission of a letter of intent for operation and maintenance grant program to New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, EFC. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 300.
Offer support and consent for an outdoor nature explore classroom at the Riverhead Country Day School. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 301.
Appoints member to the Landmarks Preservation Committee. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
I'm looking forward to working with Mr. McMahon. Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
I love Jim. Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 302.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for well and pump emergency service for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 303.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 14 entitled Community Preservation, the Riverhead Town Code, Article 5, Acquisition and Use of Open Spaces, Parks, and Park Preserve. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 304.
Accepts resignation of the assistant town engineer. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Good luck. Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes, good luck. We're going to miss Christine. She did a great job here, and wish her the best.
Wooten.
That's a yes.
What if we all voted no?
She has to stay.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll
Good
vote
one,
yes.
Jim.
Good luck to you, Christine.
Dunleavy.
Christine is one of the hardest workers we had in the town of Riverhead. She accepted a position to be a department head for another town, and she deserves it. So I vote yes, and wish her all the luck in the world.
Walter.
I vote yes, but I'm going to say this, George. I met with Anna Thronholst at the Pine Barrens Commission meeting, and I chastised her for stealing Christine from this town. So now there's more reason
than
to
ever
beat
to,
her in a cardboard boat race.
Okay.
Steal our employees. I wish her the best of luck. She's fantastic.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 305.
Amends Resolution Number 252 of 2011, approving a Chapter 90 application of Church of the Harvest where they are changing locations due to conflicting schedules. So I'll vote. I make a motion to move it.
Make a motion. Yes. You moved it.
You moved it.
Second. I did.
And
Okay.
seconded.
Now vote.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yeah, actually, this was going to take place on Easter Darts property because it's under construction. It's going to move over to the Magical Park. That's Easter Sunday Acon. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 306.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a stipulation with local 1000, AFSCME, comma, AFL-CIO, Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk Local, number 852. So moved.
Moved and
I'll second.
moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Still in
I'm
order.
looking at Matt like
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 307.
Awards bid for snack vendors. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 308.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with the Suffolk Online Advertising for the webmail, spam services, and virus scan. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 309.
Promotes a maintenance mechanic in the sewer district. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
This is a person that we sent to school to train for this position, and they're doing the job. So it's our obligation to make sure that they're in the salary scale that they're supposed to be for the education that they've received. So I'll vote yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, yeah, right. It's that and more. Actually, we have to have a plant operator on staff on weekends.
Right.
Right.
And we've been running the gamut too long, so. Yes.
Dunleavy.
I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 310.
Pays bills. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. And we have.
All right, Diane, you're gonna have to,
Yeah, that's okay.
you're gonna have to.
Now, what
get-
we have is 311 isn't gonna happen.
No.
But it never was on the agenda, so we can
Right.
take one of the others and make it 311.
Right, why don't we do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we
We'll
make
take
the,
the, authorizing the supervisor to execute a grant
Yeah, how about-
agreement
how about the
with
Calvin
New York
Recreation?
State Parks and stuff.
All right,
you want
that's
this
fine.
one,
good.
the large
The
one?
large one,
Oh,
Yeah.
at
make that
311?
311.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay, 312 will be which one?
312 I have marked already.
The track skid steer.
It's,
Okay.
where did I have that? Yeah, it's the, yes. Yes.
Tara, did this go through town attorney's office, this?
Yes, we had a meeting, Sean, that was at the meeting
Okay, so that's 312. 313. Rich?
313 was the, authorizes amendment to professional services agreement with Dunn Engineering.
That's
That's
313?
the town one, not the CDA one.
Okay.
Okay, and then that should be it.
All right, can I get a motion to
I
take?
make a motion, we take, resolutions 311 and 312 off the
And
floor.
313.
So move.
And 313 too, right?
313?
Are we not doing
I thought we had
313?
two.
Yeah, there are three.
There are three. All right,
311, 312, and 313.
311, 312, and
Right.
313
Mhm.
off the floor. So move.
I got 312.
I'll second, although I don't know 313.
Okay.
To the CDA.
It's the same as the CDA one.
Yeah, do you have that, Jim, or do you need?
Mine actually says CDA on top, so I think I have.
Oh, is that the one that we did already for
This
the
one here, I
town?
guess.
Yeah, we're just doing a CDA one at the same time.
The CDA one, number 8, or the number 9?
Number 9.
was number 9, CDA.
Yeah, this is the 313. And it's the same thing, but with the
Okay.
CDA. You got it?
I have
You
it.
need
Thank
I got it.
All right. All right, so did somebody second? You-
Somebody
you
seconded,
offered.
yeah.
Who seconded?
And
So
second.
taken for 311, 312, and
You
313.
sec-
We're all second, just put somebody down.
All right.
All right, second.
Okay. This is to take off the floor.
Okay, do we have them all off the floor?
Okay, well, we
Moved
need to
and
vote.
seconded
Okay.
to take 311, 312, and 313 off the floor.
Okay, Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 311, 312, and 313 are taken off the floor.
Okay,
Move 311.
yes.
I authorize the supervisor to execute a grant agreement with New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation for the funds to support the Calverton Recreational Facilities Phase 2. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
That's me, yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 312.
312 authorizes the town clerk to advertise for bids on a 2007 ASV 100 horsepower track skid steer loader or equal. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 313.
Authorizes amendment to professional services agreement with Dunn Engineering Associates, PC, to proceed with Calverton Rail Construction Administration for change order number 6. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. I think we got it.
Okay, before we open up this portion of the meeting is for public comment on anything that may be before the board or you might like to bring before the board or you'd like to discuss with us. But we ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes. And, yes, sir, step up to the podium. Yes, you raised your hand?
Yes, well, you didn't address me by name. I didn't know, I thought maybe somebody behind me.
No. Warren, step up to the podium. Just state your name for the record.
Warren F. McKnight, 824 Middle Road, Riverhead, New York.
Good evening, Mr. McKnight.
Good evening, good evening. I don't even like being up here. I like to be a private person. But when you I gave Jody a letter, which I should have given to the town clerk, that when a daily newspaper publishes something about Riverhead, and I can't give an answer, and I don't know whether it's true or not. Many people say stuff about Riverhead and everybody else in Riverhead that perhaps could use explanations.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know,
true.
And I look for the answers.
I can give you some explanation. The basic premise of the study is flawed. I mean, it's silly. If you take Southampton, and I did not read it, people have paraphrased it for me, but if you take Southampton's garbage and look at their waste stream, they're only looking at the waste stream for the people, if I'm not mistaken, that bring it to the transfer station.
That's right.
And then whatever's recycled from there, they give them this glowing recycling rate. You cannot compare a system like that to Riverhead system. In fact, the whole premise of trying to compare all the towns, get this down, it's silly. It doesn't work. Riverhead's recycling rate is probably on par, if not better, than the other ones. And I say better for this reason, but let's go with the on par. We have probably about an average curbside collection rate among all the East End towns that have curbside collection, and probably Eastern Suffolk. Maggio's, our Carter, dumps everything onto the floor, and they put it up, all the trash up to a conveyor belt onto the floor of their transfer station. And they pick out, after you do your curbside recycling, they pick out all the plastics, the wood, the tires, the everything, and they recycle it. That's a huge number. None of that's reflected in this report. And it doesn't matter whether Maggio's picks up commercial waste or residential waste. They never asked us to quantify this. So, because that aspect of life doesn't fit nicely into their report, so they chose to ignore it. If you look at Maggio's recycling rate, and I'm going to say it's somewhere in the 20-25% range, but he told me about a year ago when the gentleman lost his cash in the transfer station. I went there to congratulate him for them finding it, but that rate is actually fantastic. It's not reflected in here. The other thing is we have the best leaf recycling program. Other towns do things that I don't think we should have to do. They pick up leaves in plastic bags. They pick up leaves in paper bags. We pick up our leaves. The highway department doesn't necessarily like to do it, but we pick them up loose and we deliver them to the farmers. George found additional farmers to do this, to bring these leaves to. None of that, and it's our fault, we've never quantified that.
Right.
And when you live in an agricultural community, I blow my leaves into the woods at my office and at my house. Only a little bit goes out. None of that gets quantified. And when Jody came here, I put her on one of the committees I put her on was a solid waste management committee. You'd be interested to know, we never had a solid waste management plan in the town, even though the DEC has been after us for years, and Councilwoman Giglio has been doing the solid waste management plan, and that is going forward. So, Warren, be of good cheer. It's not real.
Right.
Okay. What I'd like to further on that, if I was a member of the town, I could perhaps write a letter to Newsday asking them to reflect what you just said to me.
We're going to do better.
Very good.
We're going to do better. And the board may not know this, but we're going to have a press conference in the hopefully in the beginning of May. Maggio's has been doing our recycling, and they are going to give us a check back for the monies that they're giving us a percentage of their recycling profits, and they're going to give us a check back. We're going to do a press conference. My office will set it up for the town. And hey, I invite Dave Tonjes. I know the man. I invite him to come out and tell us, what he thinks about what we're really doing, and the numbers will come out then.
Well, you know how I feel about our town and everybody in it, and when something like this, I go to the people to ask for the answers, and you just started it, and you also gave me an answer about making sure that people know what Riverhead does. Thank you.
Yes.
Warren, thank you very much.
And I can't take all the credit for the solid waste management plan. I've been working very closely with Deputy Supervisor Jill Lewis and also Emery Prudenti in our town attorney's office. And there was a resolution in the packet tonight for Cash and Associates, which part of the proceeds from the recycling program that Maggio is giving us, we're using some of that money so that we can quantify our yard waste facility and the amount of recyclables that we do there. But you will be happy to know that Riverhead is one of 4 out of 66 agencies throughout Long Island that have completed our solid waste management plan, and we are the model solid waste management plan for the other 62 municipalities and reporting agencies to follow. So our plan has been preliminarily approved. We're ahead of the game, and it's just a matter of quantifying and reporting and having our private carters, besides Maggio, that pick up our recyclables, reporting so that we can give an accurate count as to how much we're actually recovering.
Yeah, I just want to say something. Maggio's doing a great job.
Yes.
He picks up our regular garbage 2 days a week. He picks up our recycling garbage 1 day a week, and he picks up our yard waste 1 day a week. These are the things that curbside pickup that are not being reported or not being calculated accurately. And I think that they did the town of Riverhead a very disservice by putting that in Newsday this morning, the way they did. So I'd just like to say that we do a great job. And I know our private carters for our private communities also recycle all week long. The same Monday regular garbage, on Wednesday recyclables, 1 week it's plastic, next week it's paper, and then yard waste on Thursday. So I mean, these are things that we should get credit for, and we're not getting credit for it. So I just want to say that I think the local paper did us a disservice, and that's all I can say. Thank you.
But Riverhead Local did us a service in that they have an actual chart posted on their website as to the amount of recycling for each town that appears to be more accurate than what Newsday reported.
All right.
Where'd Mitch go? He left.
Yeah, Mitch Friedman, where is Newsday?
He walked out 15 minutes ago.
He left.
Oh, my goodness. That's a
What was the source of their reporting?
Stony Brook study.
Stony Brook did a study, and they tried. What they tried to do is they compared to. They used one formula and plugged every town into that one formula. You can't plug a town like Riverhead in with Brookhaven. It's silly. The whole concept.
Most of those ratings are
That's like a publicity stunt.
That's what they do most of it. So they really can't even fit Riverhead into that whole equation.
Right, and Southampton actually, they bring their waste to a facility to dispose of it. So that was the only solid waste that they were actually calculating, was what was actually brought to the facility. And based on the population, it's just...
I know they prefer that pay as you throw, but that's more expensive than what we got.
Yes.
We're stalling, Rex.
I'm not.
Patting yourselves on the back.
Rex Farr, step up to the plate.
Can you just give them a copy of this?
I had such a nice dinner the other night with Rex and Connie. See if that had any impact.
Well, let's see how nice it was.
Let's see how nice the dinner it really was. And it's actually in deference to that conversation that we had on Thursday night at Eddie Romaine's fundraiser that letter didn't go out to Spoda's office on Friday, because you, in fact, did assure me that Lou was gone or removed.
I didn't assure you of that. I said that there are several people that are retiring and there are vacancies within the town.
You said that he was going to be removed. I am here tonight. In front of you, you have a letter that I fully intend to send to District Attorney Spoda in regards to why Lou is still working. Now, what I'd like from you tonight, and I will not send that letter, if you can give me a decent timeline. It has been 2 weeks since our last confrontation, which, by the way, you didn't even have the courtesy, Sean, to stay, okay, for that. I'm simply asking, this has been going on long enough. I'm embarrassed that I have to stand up and talk about an issue that is a no-brainer with all of the work this town has to do. Now, if you can assure me tonight that we will not see the head animal control officer in his office tomorrow, and I know he's been gone for 4 weeks, which leads to a problem, because no one's down there at the animal shelter. And how do I know that? My farm is a mile and a half down the road.
There's somebody there today. I was there today.
You spelled
Oh,
my
you were
name
there
wrong.
today.
Rex, you
Okay.
spelled
Well-
my name wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
well,
no S.
Could you correct that before you send it?
I certainly will.
Thank you.
Will you give me a timeline tonight, sir?
Rex,
How do we solve this problem?
I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to work within the constraints of personnel issues, within the constraints of the retirements that are happening. Rex, I think what you're asking is doable. I can't ramrod it through. I have to have respect for the employees, the personnel, the
Well,
system.
what about having the employees respect for the people that they work for? It's an atrocious situation up there. And our timeline, as Sue Hansen has so eloquently stated at the last town board meeting, not only is it 5 months or 4 months since the dog was put down, not only is it a year since another dog was put down, it's been 15 years, 5 intense years since the Animal Committee was formed. And the Animal Committee was formed simply to put into place proper procedures for the humane treatment of our animals. What is the problem? Give me a timeline, and that letter will not go to Sputa's office, period. If you cannot, I'm going to send it.
Rex.
And there will be an investigation.
You've done the equivalent of sending it at this point, so we're
Well, no, I
working
haven't.
through
I've given you a heads up, and again, it's out of deference to the conversation that we had
Rex.
Thursday last week.
I have had conversations with certain employees.
Wednesday.
They
Okay,
have
whatever.
asked for transfers. I am trying to work that within the constraints of the system. I am mindful of your request.
But isn't it in the system that the man who has broken the law,
Rex,
is he still allowed to be a public employee?
I am mindful
I'm
of your
missing something here.
concerns, and we are trying to work Mr. Carnesi's request into a position that
Mr.
works.
Carnesi's request, excuse me, he has broken laws. He works for this town. What
Rex,
his
I
request?
can't.
What about our request that we've been asking
Rex,
for
I
a
can't go any
minimum of
further
5
than this.
years, sir?
Rex, I can't go any further. You understand I can't go any further with
No,
the
I don't
personnel
understand.
issue.
Then you're going
I
to
am
understand that
mindful-
letter
I am-
will go to the district attorney's
I am
office
mindful
of
of your
Suffolk County,
concerns.
asking for an investigation.
I
Again,
understand
what a
that.
waste of our time.
I understand that, Rex.
What a waste of our time. You should be embarrassed.
I thank you. Next.
Just want to be sure you can hear me. Are you able to hear me? Okay, my name is Pat Lynch. I'm from Southampton and Manhattan. I will just continue where Rex left off. I'm speaking actually now for Gail Waller, who could not be here tonight because of religious holidays. She told me to tell you all that she is absolutely finished with Riverhead for the following reasons. She did the criminal investigation with regard to Mr. Carnesi, and nothing has been done. She also, in addition to that, has put out a lot of money in donations for sick animals, to get animals adopted, thousands and thousands of dollars, and nothing has happened. She's worked on adoptions. Most recently, and I'd like to turn this over to the, I know you're interested in the medical, so I wanted you to see this latest case. I'll give this to the town clerk if I may. Sure. I'm sorry, I only have one copy of that, and one for myself. This is regarding a dog that is now being called Marshmallow. It came in approximately according to Mrs. Waller, approximately the 5th of April. It could be a day or so off there, I'm not quite sure, but that's what we have from Dr. Hanish's notes. The dog had been mangled, the legs had been mangled because of being dragged by a car. and the dog was at the shelter for at least a week, maybe a little over a week. The thing that's outstanding about this, and which upset Mrs. Waller tremendously, is that no painkillers were given to that dog during that period. The dog's leg was bandaged, and he was given antibiotics, but no painkillers were given to the dog. When she heard about this incident, she then adopted the dog, took it to her vet, Dr. Marino, who's located at exit 46, who's a board-certified surgeon. And Dr. Marino operated on the dog. The dog's leg was not broken. It did not need to have an amputation, which Dr. Hanisch had suggested as a possibility, to the tune of $800 to $1,000, and it didn't have to have that at all. But it's going to have physiotherapy and medical care for a considerable amount of time. I find it deeply distressing that a woman who was willing to pay for the trainers that come every weekend, Gina and Ray, most of you have probably heard about the trainers who are not paid by anybody. She was going to be pledging money to pay them, and Gina was going to be able to come more days a week. She's now not wanting to do that because she feels that the investigation she conducted was ignored. The figures that she got from the vets, which the vet charges to the town of Riverhead, were inconsistent with reality, and they should have been investigated. As far as I know, they haven't been. I can't speak for her. Maybe somebody here can tell me if they've been investigated. It was a main story, a front page story, I believe, in the Riverhead News Review. So for all these reasons, the concern about the dog that she is now paying for, and for the inability to want to pay for these volunteers anymore because of the issue of her just deep disgust with Riverhead, I wanted to come forward today on her behalf. If there's anybody that can tell me something that I don't know, I'd appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming.
Okay, and I thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Peter Scalzo. My company is Motorsports Management Group. Sean, we've spoken a number of times over the past couple of years in reference to a interim drag racing facility that I am proposing to do over at the EPCAL site. And I've been featured on Good Morning America, the Travel Channel, ABC, NBC, Fox News, Telemundo, major newspaper magazine publications around the country for what we do and what we've done in Miami-Dade County. I've been responsible, we have been, our company, with eliminating, well, basically 52% cutting back on the illegal street drag racing because of what we do, which is getting the kids off the streets. I made up a proposal, submitted to the town board members, and I was contacted by Councilperson Giglio to look into my claims of what I've done, and I believe a investigation was done by the town attorney, and I think I had stellar reviews of what I've done. As a matter of fact, I believe one of the comments was, if Peter Scalzo says he's going to do something, he does it. And the reason I'm here now is I understand there's a major concern, and I agree 1,000%, that we might impact the National Cemetery. And I'm the most positive thinking guy in the world, but I know there's no way that we could have a drag strip there that would be bothering the National Cemetery. So my answer to that was, let's do a sound test. The reason why I want to do all of this is interim use, revenue to the city, and we have done it in Miami. They love us there. It's wholesome family entertainment, and we are right now, from my understanding, having majority support from the town board to do this 15-minute sound test. Because here's the deal. If we bother the National Cemetery, again, there's no way that a drag strip will ever be able to operate.
Well, let me interrupt you for a second, because here's the, we have had, now this side of the board's only been here for 14, 15 months. For 12 years, we've had proposals like yours and every other proposal under the sun. With all due respect to you, Mr. Scalzo, nothing profitable ever came to the town. So now what we are doing is changing focus. We have hired an engineering firm. The engineering firm is going to do a market study. The market study is going to look at the zoning to see if the zoning that we have on the property makes sense. After that process is done, we are going to adopt, hopefully, zoning. We are going to do the subdivision and break the property up into 20, 30-acre lots, maybe some 5 or 10-acre lots to create real jobs like IBM, DuPont, places like that. In that whole mix, we keep getting proposals like yours and everybody else's. Why would we go with you and not Eddie Partridge or some of the other people? That right there, it would have to go out to an RFP. But even that being said, we've embarked on a course that can provide real tax base to the town. We have had a track record as the town of not doing the things we should have done at EPCAL. And it's my opinion, and if there's 3 board members that want to pass a town board resolution to have a sound check, then draft the resolution. That's how this process works. But it undermines what we're trying to do with the DEC. Councilwoman Giglio was with me with the DEC last Friday. We are trying to do this mindful of the environment so that at the end, we're not talking about just a drag strip. We're talking about a high-tech industrial park. Today, I met with Senator Schumer's office again. We discussed this. I've met with people that are willing to invest in this town. And it's my opinion, and I'm going to tell you, if you go look at my pickup truck, there's an NHRA bumper sticker on the back. Okay, but it's my opinion that I don't want to derail this process because it's not good for the taxpayers and it's not good for the residents. And so if you can get a resolution for 3 votes and have drag strips there, I'm going to vote against it.
Can I just qualify what you said?
Yes, sir.
You would consider this a drag strip. Is it a drag strip?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be high-end vehicles, BMWs with mufflers on them. Am I correct?
No, sir. It would not be limited to high-end BMWs, et
But
cetera.
they will have mufflers on them.
We'll have mufflers on it. My
so
concern.
it's not going to be like you watch television. It's drag strip cars going down the track.
Yes, sir. It's and also it is an 1/8 mile. Now I own 2 other drag strips, and again I can only go with what my success has been. And you know, Sean, I take objection to what you're saying because what you're saying to me, with all due respect, well, I provided you with what I said I've done. I don't know what these other people have provided you with. I'm a success. I make things happen. So. Please don't put me in the category of those other folks that did this dog and pony show with
I'm
you.
just saying
I make things
this
happen.
could
Now,
derail
the drag.
the
Well, let me
process.
finish, please. The drag strip is 1/8 of a mile. That's 660 feet. And here's the best of this: my permit in Miami, and it is a permit. It is not a lease. States that after 1 year, because I'm going to make the investment in doing this. And by the way, there's nothing permanent. At the end of a year, if I don't do what I say I can do, which is getting the kids off the streets, having a Veterans Appreciation Day, having to beat the heat where the police officers come with police cars and race against the kids, I've done it. I've been successful. At the end of a year, if you don't like it, Pete, we are going in a different direction. We're going to do it.
I just think the town's losing a lot of money by not renting this out while we have this study going. And it's the taxpayers that I'm trying to look out for, to get as much money as we can to relieve the tax burden of this town. And I just don't want to wait another 2 to 3 years and nothing happen at EPCAL.
Well, here I am. I'm the one. I can give you an income during this time period.
Why would we select you, sir? Why wouldn't we select a local guy? I mean, I'm just.
Well, I have the perfect answer for you.
The town should go out to an RFP.
Well, if you're going to do an RFP, in my opinion, now you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know how you run your town, but an RFP normally would be for a long-term lease. I would think, well, okay, I could be wrong. I would think under the circumstances, why wouldn't you deal with somebody like me who has the track record? And again, at the end of the year, you might think it's a wonderful thing and say, Pete, you're gone, we're going to have our local residents.
So, Pete, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When I and this town board are trying to work with the environment, because what you want to do is a very small part of the redevelopment of EPCAL. So when we step out and do this, and we piss off all the environmental groups, which I'm almost positive we will, what have you done for the tax? Because listen, when you do that, what have you done for the taxpayers when now our 18-month study turns to 2 and 3 years because they don't believe a word we've said? Because that's been our track record. We hear these proposals and all of a sudden we try to do them. That doesn't make for good development of the EPCAL.
And with all due respect, Mr. Scalzo, I appreciate you giving us the information that we asked for, because all business proposals, and I've heard from several different racing industries that say that they want to come and they want to use the existing runway and they want to have small venues for this type of facility. And I know that you pay the Miami-Dade County anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 a
Correct.
year. And I was asked to collect business plans from people that want to come and lease the property at EPCAL in the interim while we're doing these studies. And you have provided us with all the information as I have requested. Your references have been checked. Your your record is stellar. And you know, I see the cops on the stations that you've directed me to, and the people that go to these types of venues. And I am sorry that I have brought you to this point where you have provided us with all the information that I have requested, and we are at a standstill.
Well, one other thing that, and I know we're not going to go back and forth with this, but my opinion, sir, is if we're talking about a pristine piece of property that has never been impacted by a human being, I can see what you're saying about impacting and going and getting there when you're doing the study. I just came from the site. Have you been on that site? And I'm talking about the 7,000-foot runway. Have you been there lately, sir? You know what I'm going to ask next? There is drag racing going on. There's tire marks all over the place. And again, we're not EPCAL is not a site that is not being used. You have that wonderful industry going on there. You have the skydiving, all positive things. So what I'm looking to do is, what we do is not impact. We're not doing anything. We're not putting oil in the ground. I'm not even putting any permanent structures. A 1-year trial, show you what it's all about. Then from that point on, you say, nah, it ain't gonna work. But again, what I'm saying is, putting all of that, having said all of that, at the very least, because I could be way out of line, and it could be a wonderful thing, but if it's going to impact the National Cemetery, it'll never fly. Let us do the sound.
Well, Mr. Scalzo, it's actually a little bit more than that, actually, because it's not so much what the use was before, but ever since the town had EPCAL, it's like a rough diamond. Everybody wants a hand on it. Everybody wants to touch it. Everybody wants to be a part of that. And you have to foster good relations with people who have some sort of authority up there or feel they do. And if we were going to, DEC, we're trying to foster a good relationship with DEC, with DOT, with all these different people, which is why this new land use study is going to bring all these people to the table, create something that everybody can live with.
Yes.
So that it can move forward. And everybody can say, well, all right, I've had my say. I feel like I'm part of this. By us stepping outside that, it's probably going to break somewhat of a trust with some of those agencies, and that's probably not a good footing to go forward with this use plan.
Do you think there could be the possibility of speaking with these folks and saying, listen, we have this man, there's a possibility of a proposal, let's do the study at that area first.
It's not
Again,
a focus.
I'm looking for a small amount of the area. That is it, only using it twice a week. Would that be possible that we could get that written off, whatever the word you might want to use, that this could happen and you could get an income?
The best we can do is take your business plan.
Yes.
And when we select the company that's going to do the study for the zoning, we will give it to them. That is going to be a process, and
Well, I thought you collected somebody, no?
we are selecting, so we are doing an RFP for the company that does the actual, looks at the zoning, does a marketing analysis and sees what the zoning is, because they could come back and say, absolutely not, it won't be permitted, we don't want it. Then we wouldn't, then this conversation is over.
How long do you think that would take before you'd get a determination from them? Would
You're
it be a
looking
year?
at an 18-month process.
So why can't I operate?
Because if you're not hearing what I'm saying and some of the board members are saying, we're committed to a process. we're going to move that process forward. That process requires us to foster relationships with the DEC, with the environmental groups, relationships which this town has really not done a good job at. And your proposal, in my humble opinion, will not help us with those relationships, and that will set us back as a town, and you will go back to Miami-Dade and do what you do, and 10 years from now, we'll be sitting here with another town board saying, what are we going to do with EPCAL?
Well,
Sir?
yes,
I
okay.
think we've heard the proposal.
Very good.
Thank you for your time.
I
I
appreciate
thought
your...
that you had
Yes, ma'am.
spoken to Mr. Scully from the DEC, didn't you indicate?
No, I've
No,
never spoken
okay.
to someone.
Now,
No.
we have model airplane, and we wanna fly model airplanes out there. The guy wants to rent the end of the runway so they can fly their model
Good.
airplanes. They do it at Floyd Bennett Field,
Good.
in New York City and Queens. They went to the DEC, and I can't even get that through to help the taxpayers of the town of Riverhead, so they can go out there and fly their model airplanes on the weekends. So that's another thing that.
And I had some
We
concern.
just keep losing money, and we're not doing nothing with EPCAL.
Yes, I had some concerns also. I don't think it's just the noise level. It's things like parking, access. Once you get involved in those issues, you're going to impact more than the runways. We got grasslands there, and this is what the DEC is going to look at and probably object to. It's not going to stay on the runways and expand into some of those environmental sensitive areas, and I think that's our concern. And that would be the
Okay,
DEC
again,
study
the
system.
motorsports community, which is very strong out there, needs something like this. Whether it's me or Joe Schmo, whoever it might be, think about that. Think about all of the kids that are out there. What I provide, you do a great job in building ball fields for kids, and it's wonderful. But how about all the kids that are what we call gearheads or motorheads?
Did I
They
mention
need a
I have an
place to go.
NHRA bumper sticker on the
Well,
back?
there you go.
It
So-
is, this board is mindful of that, but we're
Okay.
going to go through the process,
I gotta win.
and we're going to do it correctly.
All right, so at least let me take out of this that there's the possibility, whoever you're going to have this study, that you might request to have it done at this site.
There's always that possibility, yes.
Okay.
It's absolutely that possibility.
Okay, thank you for hearing.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Hadoff.
Good evening. Matt Hadoff, President CSEA, Town of Riverhead Employees. That letter that Rex Farr turned over to the town board, being that it was done at a public meeting, does that now become public record?
Yes,
I'd like a copy of it so I can turn it over to our attorneys.
it's fine. You can have it.
Thank you. I'll pick it up tomorrow.
We have a copy now. We probably have you have a copy, Diane? All right, well, here's Diane's copy, and you could just get it from her tomorrow.
Ah, that works for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, does anybody else wish to be heard tonight? Yes?
Just want to finish on a comment Mr. Scalzo
Can you
started.
bring the mic down?
And just give your name for the record.
My name is Nick Filippidis. I live in East Marion, and I have a manufacturing facility with 21 employees in Amityville. I manufacture header systems for high-performance cars and everything else. One of the things that I think hasn't really been touched upon, or maybe it has, is the fact that any type of motorsports facility, whether it be just a 8th-mile track, like what Mr. Scalzo is proposing, or a full-on race facility, brings money into the area, and I'll tell you why. Businesses flock to where these facilities are, and those businesses bring jobs. Okay, besides the fact that you get kids off the street, which we already know works because Mr. Scalzo can give you that on paper. It's real. You can't overlook the fact, if you go to Indianapolis and you go near that motorsports facility, there are literally thousands of businesses around that one motorsports facility. Why? It's no different. I mean, he wants to walk before he runs. He wants to give you an opportunity to see what he can do. And at the very least, I think you should give him that opportunity because you're missing out. You really, truly are missing out. I'm willing, as a business. Now, I got 21 employees. 5 years ago, I had 2, just me and my partner. Okay, my business is about to move into a 25,000 square foot facility where I'm probably going to end up with another 30 employees.
I'd love to have you at EPCAL.
Okay, Well, you know what? We were there already. We were already there looking, okay? And it's a possibility we may end up there. The point I'm trying to make is you can't discount that. You can't put that out of your mind because you cannot believe the amount of business that these types of facilities bring in. I am willing to work with every single high-performance company on Long Island to start a program where we get the kids off the streets. We can put signs up. We can promote that little 8th Mile facility into something that's so huge for this community. I mean, it's beyond words. You've already heard all the stories. This has been going on for a long time, okay? Restaurants, hotels, the whole thing. I mean, that's something that it can grow into. But you got to, like I said, you got to start someplace.
I'd rather start with doing what it is the town should have done 12 years ago. It is very easy to sit here as a council person or a supervisor and say, we're losing money for the taxpayers. It is a much more difficult thing for the supervisor and the council to sit here and say, okay, we have to put everything on hold until we get our ducks in a row. When you opened your business, I'm sure you had all your ducks in a row. When you went in and purchased a building or rented a building, you probably had made sure you got all your permits in a row, your COs and everything. We've never done that. If you don't give us the opportunity to do that, we will be destined to fail. We have to take that opportunity now.
Before you mention,
we cannot engage in these things until we get through the process we've laid out. And it is not glossy, it is not glitzy, glamorous. It is something that has to be done. And I'm sorry, I agree with you, but we have to do what we have to do first.
I totally understand. I just want to make one more point. I spoke to Tom Brown, who is the president of the Beat the Heat program. There are 450 chapters, I believe, worldwide. They've gone as far as Australia, New Zealand. They're in Europe. They're everywhere. There are literally thousands of cops working, keeping kids off the streets. Okay, this is another golden opportunity. By the way, Tom Brown also is the manager of Gainesville Raceway Park. That facility on one weekend brings in $60 million. That's no joke. That's real. And Tom Brown is even willing to come up here and meet with you guys, okay, tell you all about the program. He can even bring the police here with these cars that they have specifically built to attract kids and get them off the street. I mean, this is a golden opportunity for you guys to really do something amazing for Suffolk County.
And it may be, but it's going to be at the end of the 18-month process we've laid out to put our ducks in a row. You have to let us as a town do that. If you continue to do this, and somehow you wind up getting in here, I can guarantee you that we as a board will have failed the residents of Riverhead, because we will never attract the IBM, the large companies that we'd like to have here, where you're making $70, $80, $100,000 a year. That I'm sure of. So let us do what we have to do, and we are mindful of motorsports. Believe me, we are. But let us do what we have to do.
I was going to say the same thing. Just don't let our hesitation at this point be a negative declaration against motorsports. It's just there has to be a process for us to get this property where it can be marketable for all.
Okay, thank you.
I think that 12 years ago they did do a reuse study for this, so don't say nothing was done. It wasn't continued to be zoned or to be, it was zoned, but it wasn't, the property wasn't taken apart. It's just one huge piece of property up there. That's what's holding us back, is the separation
subdivision
of the property so we can sell these properties. So don't say nothing was done 12 years ago. There was a reuse study done 12 years ago, and it was zoned for them to continue. That's why we have manufacturing up there now. So things were done, except that it wasn't subdivided. And that's the problem we have today, that it has to be subdivided.
Can I say one thing?
If you could wrap it up.
If you can't give him 1 year, can you give him 6 months?
Sir, I'm not
Give him 6
sure
months.
you're hearing what we're saying. Thank you for coming.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming, sir. Anybody else like to be heard? Ms. Farr, didn't we have a lovely dinner?
Yes, it was. Okay, Connie Farr, Calverton. You cut me off last week. I didn't get to be on TV, so I had to try again. Does anyone have a?
We don't do that on purpose.
Right, right.
No, we don't.
Do any of you have a cell phone? Does anybody have a cell phone up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, could you please do me a favor and call this number?
I'm afraid.
No,
Give me the number.
727-1618.
What is that?
What is that?
Call now and just tell everybody what you get when you call.
Oh, it's just town business.
I don't know. You said
Yeah, I don't
But
like
anyway,
that.
It
we're
is.
talking
900 in
about
front of
being
us,
cut
is it?
off. And I understand, I'm getting complaints from a lot of people out there that the town board meetings and work sessions are being cut off. And this is the first year that this has happened.
What is that number?
This is in your budget on page 57 under the animal control, and that
It's a
number
non-working
hasn't
number.
been
It says
working
a
for a
non-working
while,
number.
and yet we're spending $1,500 a year on this number that doesn't work. I'd just like to know why. How does these budgets?
I don't know why you would.
What number is that for?
It's
Connie,
for
we'll
the
look
Animal
into it. What is the
Control
number?
Office, huh?
727-1618.
You want the real number? That might be your number. They don't want to hear from you.
Dave, do we know anything about this number?
I'll give you the new number if you want it.
All right, we'll look into it. I'm sure we're not spending $1,000 on a number that doesn't work.
No, you're spending $1,500 on your budget.
I'm sure we're not.
the
We'll
budget.
look into it.
No, but then
Tara,
please
can
take
we
it
find out-
off of expenses. Off of expenses.
If you look at Tara, if you give that to Tara, we'll take, or if you don't want to do it today.
Uh-huh.
If you just when you're done, step outside and make a copy of it, we'll get back to
You
you.
guys have copies.
369
This is your budget, not mine.
369-6189 is the number, just let you know. 369-6.
Is that it, Connie?
618.
All right, thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard tonight? All right, not seeing anybody. Thank you for coming, folks, and can I get a motion to adjourn?
Can I make a motion we adjourn the town board meeting?
All in favor, aye.
No.
Here
he comes.
Here he comes.
Oh, here. John, I have an extra copy.
We started, every time I try to go.
Taxi, you got a copy?
I have an extra one because I made a copy and then Diane provided me one, so I know I have.
Accessory apartment, you said?
Yeah, accessory
You got it?
apartment.
All right,
Here's
thank
the
you.
accessory apartment.